Thank you. And then also very quickly, everybody should have a booklet in front of them. And this book is actually for a 2-3 hour workshop. And so we're not going to go through all the material. If you're interested in the class, you can go onto my website, janeandcraig.com, and you can purchase the full class. I want to encourage you guys that when you come to events like this, if you will really participate, if you will allow yourself to be vulnerable, then whether it's through a concept you catch, whether it's through a relationship that you build, you can expect to have defining moments, and those moments that will take you to a completely higher level. And that's what my hope is for you in the next 15, 20 minutes, and that's why I'm motivated to be vulnerable with you, is to see you experience a defining moment. And defining moments are powerful because what makes a defining moment powerful is when you respond to one. But a defining moment can happen as a result of a simple conversation that you have with somebody. It can be as a result of a line that you read in a book. It can happen here. Because we all have greatness within us, but sometimes we have a hard time discovering it unless defining moments help to draw it out of us. And I think of the woman that finds that supernatural strength to lift a car off of her child after an accident. She always had the strength. She just didn't know it until she had a defining moment that helped to draw it out of her. And it wasn't so much the accident that was the defining moment. It was her response to the accident. And a defining moment that played a significant role in my life, and it's really why I'm here today, is when I found myself widowed, a single mom, and the sole provider of my 2-year-old son. And in a single day, my life changed because we took my husband David to the emergency room. We thought he had a pulled muscle in his back, but we found out that he had advanced stage bone and lung cancer. And see, we thought he pulled his muscle because we'd bought all this workout equipment several months earlier. And we'd been working out pretty much every day. And so my husband, he was already a handsome guy, but now he was buff. He looked great and he felt great. And so the day that we got that diagnosis, where I just wanted to cry. I just wanted to crumble and cry. My husband, he takes me in his arms and he goes, Jen, we're gonna beat this thing. And he said it with boldness and energy, and I believed him. And so 8 months later, we checked him in, the one and only time that we admitted him to the hospital. Within hours, he went into cardiac arrest, he slipped into a coma, and 7 days later, as I'm standing by his bed holding his hand, he passes away. And it was tough. It was tough. Leaving that room that night was perhaps, it was tough. And walking out the room, it was more than just leaving my husband. It meant that I was leaving my best friend, my husband, my son's daddy. I was also leaving our goals and our dreams. I knew that the minute that I walked out that room, life as we knew it was over forever. And I wasn't prepared because we didn't have a plan B. I believed he was going to make it. I made one decision before I left that hospital room, though. And that decision was that my son, he wasn't going to lose both of his parents that night. My husband to cancer, and me to my grief, my disappointment, and to my sorrow. I wasn't going to let it happen. And so, based on that one decision, every decision that I made thereafter aligned with that purpose. And so that one decision led to me starting a company. And that led to growing it into 4 companies. And I sold those companies to a multi-billion-dollar organization called Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I stayed on as CEO, but I stepped down last year to form Jack International. And really, the vision for this organization is to help other people understand that we all have greatness within us, and we can do just about anything when we understand certain principles and certain concepts, and we learn how to apply them. And so I'm super excited today, and I'm going to talk fast because I want to give you quite a bit, but I'm excited to talk about our topic today because it's a core principle to success, and it's simplicity. See, there are certain concepts that if you will catch them, they will completely transform you. And simplicity is a concept. It is a concept that has literally inspired and empowered millions of unlikely people to achieve extraordinary levels of success. And it's a principle that inspired me. I was 40. I never have taken an accounting class. I don't have a business degree. I really struggled in school academically. And yet, I built an insurance company from scratch, a highly regulated financial institution. Not a likely path for somebody like me. But what I did have is I had purpose, because I wanted to be an engaged and a present mom. I wanted to be there for my son. I wanted to take him to school. I wanted to pick him up. I wanted to attend his performances, his athletic events. And I also wanted to chaperone his field trips. I just wanted to be there. Starting a company was a way to do that. Now, the company wasn't my dream. The company was a vehicle to support my goals, my dreams, and my visions. And that was helpful for me. That was a helpful distinction to keep things in perspective and to keep life in perspective. See, whether it's been in raising capital, whether it's been in navigating adversity, breast cancer, whether it's been in just learning to live life and enjoy life more fully, the concept of simplicity has guided me and it has supported me through every situation. It's what supported me in walking out of the hospital room that night. It's what supported me in starting my companies. It's a powerful, powerful principle. I get to advise a handful of CEOs, management teams, entrepreneurs, and it doesn't matter how big the issues are, just about always, the solution is simple. And I think back on the materials that we used to build my company, almost everything that we had, almost everything is so simple. I look back today and it's a little bit embarrassing. Everything was an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper with staples in the corner, block letters across the front, with names like Plan A, Plan B, and Plan C. But see, simple will get you started, and simple will keep you moving towards your goal. The very definition of simple is easy to understand. And so that means as you design programs, as you make plans, as you roll out new products, as you communicate strategies to coworkers, to your friends, keep it simple. There are two key elements to simplicity that we're going to talk about very quickly. One is simplicity as a mindset, and one is simplicity as a strategy. Simplicity as a mindset it's how you see the world. It's how you look at things. And I look at simplicity as a mindset as a childlike faith. If Jane Ann can do it, you can do it. If your competitor can do it, you can do it. It's a can-do attitude. Simplicity is a strategy. Since it comes out of a simplicity mindset, then we really ought to spend a lot of time working on our simplicity mindset. So, how do you build a simplicity mindset? It's pretty simple. It's a lot like eating. What comes in? If you eat junk food, you feel sluggish all day, right? If you eat healthy food, you have energy. In both cases, you're doing the same thing, but you're getting very different results. And getting a simplicity mindset is the same thing. As if we feed ourselves with positive input, then we're going to approach the day with positivity, with optimism, with the can-do. If we feed ourselves with negativity, then we're going to wake up with negative thoughts. We're going to be pessimistic, cynical. We even find ourselves slipping into fear. And there's case study after case study that supports it. We just don't have time. So I'm going to give one example that probably several of you can relate to. Who in here has seen the movie Jaws? Okay. Who has seen Shark Week? Who doesn't think of sharks when you go swimming in the ocean? You see, I love the ocean. I love the ocean, but I can't dive in the water without very quickly hearing boop, boom, boop, boom, boop, boom. It messed me up, and I let my son see it. I wish I hadn't. Knowing this, guard our minds from the negative and intentionally input positive, input motivational, input inspirational. I do not have a business degree. I wish I did, but I have spent thousands of hours listening to motivational and inspirational instruction and so forth. The second element is simplicity as a strategy, and this is the actions that we take in order to get our goals. In other words, it's our plan. And a great example where we see simplicity as a strategy is in martial arts. In karate, it doesn't matter how big the opponent is, it doesn't matter how smart they are, it doesn't matter how rich they are, because we use their movement and their mass to our advantage. And I've loved karate since I was a kid. I started taking lessons when I was 18. About 2 years into taking lessons, one day I walked into the ladies' restroom on my college campus, and right as I got in the door closed behind me, a man lunged out at me. And without thinking, I stepped in at a 45-degree angle, I hooked his wrist, and I snapped his elbow. And then I ran. And what was so very cool about this is that I didn't try to do some black belt technique. I didn't even think about it, frankly. I just stepped right in with one of the first techniques that I'd ever learned. And I'm quite proud of that. I did 3 things right, though. 1 is that I kept it simple. 2 is that I had a plan, because in martial arts what they do is for most studios, they teach students how to prepare for an attack in advance. So I had prepared for a lunge from the right side, a lunge from the left side. It was called something like dancing crane. But I had studied it, I'd learned it, I had taught it. And so I automatically moved into that. 3rd is that I practiced. I kept it simple, I had a plan, I practiced, and as a result of practicing, I was able to execute it. That's a powerful combination. The key to success that day was I had a simplistic mindset. I had a strategy and a plan. I practiced so I could execute. Guys, life is busy, and unless we intentionally create habits, unless we intentionally create rituals to feed our minds with positive input, then it's not going to happen. Unless we intentionally guard our minds from negative input, we're going to get negative. It just is how it works. If we don't change our behavior, we don't get different results. And so for our breakout session now, what we're going to do is, and there's actually a page in the book, but I realized today I forgot to put numbers in there, sorry. But there's a page towards the back. And our table was already doing this quite naturally. But before we leave today, let's each of us go home with a discipline, a strategy, how we're going to improve the input into our minds, and how we're going to guard and eliminate. And I'll use me as an example very, very quickly. I'm not a morning person, but every morning I get up an hour and a half to 2 hours early, and I spend that time listening to motivational and inspirational CDs, YouTubes, videos, or read. And then I spend about 10 minutes writing in my gratitude journal. And the reason is this: it's a ritual, it's a discipline. But the reason I do that is that I want to see the challenges every day as opportunities. I want to be generous every day. I want to control my day. I don't want my day to control me. As far as a ritual for eliminating, as far as a ritual as cutting back the negative, I'm kind of a news junkie. I've learned I've just got to shut the news off, and definitely not in the morning. And so I just don't watch much news anymore. The second thing I do as a ritual, as a discipline, if I'm around the TV, when the commercials come on, I turn the volume off, because all those pharmaceutical companies telling me I need drugs, don't want it. And so those are simple steps. But guys, simplicity, if you will apply that as a concept and an application in your life can change literally today. It has to. So thank you guys very much for having me. Please feel free to go to my website, janandcraig.com, and it's been an honor to be here. Let's go ahead and break up, and then if there's time, we'll just share a couple of ideas that we've come up with in order to have a ritual or a discipline, like eating, like exercising. Feed your mind and guard your mind. Thank you.